Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome to my Thanksgiving night stream involving some Bay Area stuff. This is sort of a special one-night affair. Hopefully we can get it done pretty quick. I might have to take a quick break. I realized I did not bring my a beverage with me in case I get a little parched. So just be aware I might have to run off and grab something at some point here. Maybe I should do that. I don't know. Is anybody even here? I'm guessing it's Brian, but I don't know. Oh, I actually have no concurrent viewers right now. All right, let me get set up. This is the same trip that I had involving the California line cable cars, and it will also be the same trip that will involve some Caltrain stuff. So just be aware that whenever I get to the Caltrain stuff. I used to have a conference in San Francisco in the February time frame, and my second trip out there. So first trip, I did some of the basics. Second trip, I figured I should try to do some BART and ride some of the lettered MUNI lines around, in addition to additional whatever cable car and stuff I could. Although the weather was, February apparently in SF, while it's not cold like the Northeast and it doesn't snow, it is pretty gnarly up there. And it's just sort of depressing, kind of Portlandy, if that is accurate, an accurate description. So we're starting out. I went out riding around on. I forget if I was going to be if I was one of those things with having a. I think I was still able to pull off that weekly trick, or maybe the monthly trick. I think it was the second time where I actually did the monthly trick. We can actually check. 0207. So 2007. So probably not. But I was there all week, so it could have been. I don't want to really go back in time. I picked the day, the 7th. I don't know if I was there, but this seems to be one of those things where someone pointed out that when they had paper monthlies, that they were good for the first 3 days of the new month. So a lot of commuters would go into the city, buy their new monthly, and throw out the old one in the trash can. You can just pick one up, and then those were even good on the cable cars straight up. You didn't even need to have that fake, the weekly dollar deal. That existed, although I still wasn't really charged for that. So given the date, I bet that this. I know I didn't do it the first time I was out there, but I think on the second trip, someone showed me how that worked. So here I am at Market and Church. I don't know how I did this in future things. Probably wanted to do F line or something. This is why I have other stuff up here. This'll get it to me however I did it. Alright, I know what I'm going to do now. Okay. This is where the J crosses the F market. F market's the heritage line with the PCCs. In theory, I guess it can be used if there's a problem in the subway. They could run the regular trains down it. And this is where the J crosses. 1 second, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. It's all the way on the other side of things. Oops. So the J is the let's see here. How does this work? Okay. Yeah. The N and J have the first port diverge from the Market Street trunk early. The N going to the Pacific and the J turning south, crossing the F market at grade on Church Street, and then continuing on its own little doohickey on Church. It looks like they put a whole bunch of bus lanes on that since I've been there last. So anyway, this is the F market at J looking eastbound. Oh, I solved my chat issue. It's because I was logged in with a different account in a different window, and that was screwing it up. I just didn't notice until right now. So I'm back on the normal chat here. Well, thanks for showing up. Although we do have a couple of additional viewers. If you were here for the Hancock Tower thing, this might not be quite as exciting. But I hope to at least power through it to some degree. Hopefully I can use more of the names. Oops. Always takes me a little bit to get going first. But this is still out before I had, let's say, a smartphone with a night sight capability. And I still like doing night photography with using what I call natural tripods. I was never one of those big carry around a tripod people. So I knew enough to be able to set up my digital camera to do shutter priority and then just go from there. There we go. Here we have the F Market terminal in the Castro. Of course, they use heritage painted PCC cars. Most of these are ex-SEPTA cars, and you can tell if you're on a PCC in San Francisco and it has a school bus style window, those are ex-SEPTAs. They bought when SEPTA suspended a lot of its operations. For a while, they maintained a pretense of, it's temporarily suspended trolley lines, and they kept the PCCs around. A bunch of which were sold to, a bunch of which were given to Brookville to convert them into PCC2s, and then around the late 90s or 2000s, they sold the remainder to SF MUNI to run their heritage operations. Of course, they would have to be regauged to standard, but that's on a PCC. Changing the gauges and apparently isn't a big deal. So again, the weird framing is because I'm using a rung on like the ADA mini high up there to do these photos. And here we are now back in a PCC. And again, if today this would just be ridiculously easy because I would just use some sort of smartphone and just do night sight and get a perfect interior photo of the PCC. But here I was like, all right, I got to put my camera down on the floor and do a 2-second timed exposure. Not the worst photo in the world, but still it's grainy as all get out and whatnot. But the low level, the advances in low light photography is probably the thing that I think is one of the far more important advances in smartphone stuff. So here we have cut ahead. Now this is what the whole freaking week was like, just gray and cloudy, and I was busy all day, so I would either have to go out very early in the morning or very late at night. And then your problem is that it's restricted light. It's still February. Just because it's in California doesn't mean the sun shines longer in the winter. So here we are. I'm coming out on an M routing, and here we can see the K and M trains all trying to battle to get into the West Portal, because this is also where the L's will come in. So the K's and M's are just sort of sitting there backing themselves up. Here we have the West Portal X over. So just show you where we're at here. We go under this central spire in the town. And where's West Portal? There it is. So you have it's not quite a grand union, it's like a half union. And the L branches off first. And then we are, where's that first mini high? There it is. Got to figure out what station that is. It says West Portal Station. What the hell station is this one? It's also West Portal. Oh, it's because it's on West Portal Avenue. So it's Sloat Street, Francis Circle, St. Francis Circle. I'm standing at the back, of course, shooting at the back of one of these MUNI LRVs, which apparently are all like getting retired. I mean, it's just crazy how they're perfectly they're not Boeing LRVs. Francis. Okay. That's not a great photo. Is it even worth it? Nah, I think I'm just going to cut this one. So this is the KM junction, and I'm on the K line. The K and the M sort of take separate, similar yet separate routings. There we go. Yeah, it's all very Twilight-y, me trying to get the best photos I can. All right, and so unfortunately, I did do these before. This is at the K line at Plymouth. Oh wait, hold on. Did I cut one? Oh, all right. I guess I skipped one. So we have this little mini right of way here, and then we're on to surface streets. So how does this go? So we turn on here, and looks like it's about there. Can I see a street sign? I think we're stopped. So I'm betting that we are right in here. So what do I see out of the back of this? I see a curve to the right. So I guess we'd be there, but there's a park. So we're on Ocean Ave. Oh, there's the street. Looks like begins with an M, like more. Oh, Manor, Manor. There it is. So we're at so I don't think I want to go with K-Line. All the other ones I'm going with the name of the service. Let's see. What are the routes? The K Ingleside. Is it Manor Street or Manor Ave? Manor Drive. And this is Plymouth. And it's Plymouth what? Plymouth Ave. There's another LRV going in the opposite direction, and that's probably what I was trying to get a picture of. See if anybody has any questions. Oh, cool. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, take your time. I'll be here for a bit. I remember you wanted to talk about Bay Area stuff, so I'm on the K Ingleside right now. Before I get to do some BART stuff. But then I'll be back on MUNI eventually. So it looks like I cut it again here. Let's see if I can find a street name. Oh, I'm using this guy right here. All right, that looks like this. That's at what? Freda Kana Way. Oh, it's California. Oh, I'll just say Geneva Ave. That works. Is that a trolley bus in the background? Or just could be a trolley bus. I can't quite see. It is equipped for it there. So it looks like I cut a bunch of what the heck? And finally, we're getting close to Balboa Park Junction. The Balboa Park is sort of like SEPTA's what do you call that? Elmwood or Woodlawn Elmwood facility. Their big sort of, I want to say suburban, but city urban yard space where all the lines sort of come together. This serves the J, K, and M, and of course it's their main yard. It also has the Heritage Center for the F line. The F line trolleys will go out on J's to reach the route, and there's just tons of little diversion routes and all sorts of stuff over there. So the question is, where are we? I see All right, looks like it's right there. So this is sort of the first bit, or is it? Huh. Where is this? And what am I seeing? I'm looking toward the hill in the background. There's nothing to the right. It looks like there's yard ops on my left. Yeah, so I would be looking north. Now, unless this is some sort of like, a different trip. Eh. Oh, there's a street sign right there, but I can't read it. I had it labeled as Balboa Park Junction, so I guess I'll go with that. I'm betting it's this thing right here. Although I don't know how a train is like turning in from up that way. Now, yeah, that's got to be it. Coming in, making this turn into the yard here. So you can, yeah, they've definitely improved it since then. On the Google, you can see everything's sort of been concreted up. As opposed to just being embedded in the asphalt. Huh. Here's another one I skipped. So what I'm pretty sure I did here was transfer to BART. You could use BART within city limits on like a monthly. So my plan was to transfer to the BART here and then ride, I guess, across to MacArthur and then come back. Oh, there, yeah, there's the K station right there. So it platforms over on this side as opposed to up there. Okay, now we're on BART here. This isn't a B car, it's a C car. Oh my god. All sorts of stuff that's wrong. The question is what was the numbers on this? So here, my idea was like, oh, I'll go out to MacArthur, and again, I was sort of flummoxed by the fact that it was just so dark and rainy. What I want to do is pull up another Wikipedia page and get the BART numbers. They gotta have the numbers somewhere. Here we go. A and B, C series, blah blah blah. What are the damn numbers? Oh, there they are. This page is just poorly done. So fleet numbers were 301 to 450 for the C1 cars, and 2501 to 2580 for the C2 cars. So the question is, what's the number on this, and which one was it? I think that this is a C2, so this is a 2500 car. The C2s were awful. They ran them a lot, especially on the ends, and you just had no. It might have been just. It might as well have been a solid bulkhead in front on these. I'm so glad that they have something different. I mean, I missed the A cars are pretty cool. I only got to ride it once or twice, but the C cars as cabs were just awful. And here we have an A car 1219. By this point in their lives, the A cars are really limited to. At least I felt that they were limited to rush hours. I wasn't riding a lot of BART. I came out fairly regularly for a number of years, like about once a year for the better part of a decade. And I only got like an A car once or twice, and just everything was C cars, everything. And I think that they were holding them back for rush hours given their age. Oh yeah, I noticed. I think in my label, I noticed that the little LED scroll sign is telling people to report suspicious activity, which at the time was definitely concern for the there was still a huge amount of police harassment of taking pictures of stuff at the time. Ultimately, what killed that was a technical solution. Was the fact that everybody suddenly had when everybody has a smartphone. There's no way that you really can't enforce anti-photography stuff anymore. In fact, anyone there's no way to detect who's actually taking surreptitious photos. So they've pretty much given up on that one. I love yeah, this is a nice sort of BART sign. You got a nice, all the folks are stuck in traffic there. It's interesting of all the people, California has this reputation for older cars because there's no road salt and it doesn't rain, but it does rain. So I guess it's just the salt that really rusts things out. Of course, Arizona, where it doesn't really rain, is where you definitely have the a lot of the classic stuff. All right, so here's my question. I gotta go over to MacArthur to see how this is lined up. Now, where is that? I think it's right in there. There it is. So the question is, there's the BART sign. Great, so I'm looking westbound. How many platforms are there? Just 2. And that's on the far side. So I'm on the westbound platform looking westbound. And sort of a zoom at the end of the westbound platform with the BART sign. I cut a lot of these from my original set of photos, probably because I was just like platformy stuff, but it's nice now. The BART is really the Long Island Railroad of the West. I know that people, it's just like the DC. The DC Metro is 2/3 subway and 1/3 commuter rail, and BART is the opposite, 2/3 commuter rail and 1/3 subway. If the Rockefeller MTA had achieved its goal, the Long Island Railroad would be a lot more like BART than what it turned out to be. Because they were poised to have automatic operation with the M1 cars. The M1 cars were set up for ATO, but eventually there was too much union pushback, so they never did the ATO on it. They never activated the ATO. Would have had a good for 100 mile an hour too, and that would have just been in the close zones. Everything, LAR would have been a hybrid operation for sure, but the M1s would have had the ATO. And they probably would have, tried to get good, crew reduction based on that. But any questions or anything here? So this is where I head out on the L. This is going to be a different day. So the question is, what kind of car is this? A C2 or what? Alright, let's see. We got 369 would be a C1 car. This looks like whatever train I was going to get. These are so bad. There was just no point to riding BART. Like, I did not care. There was nothing you could do on it. You could kind of glance the operator's console on the C cars, but you couldn't see any signal indications. You couldn't see any. You could see the speed that you could see the cab signal speed, but that's pretty much it. And the side windows didn't show you anything, and because half of it's in a tunnel. Yeah, this rush hour was a good hit for the A cars. This is the majority of my in-service A car stuff. I mean, the time when I was riding this was also I was mostly going to be going from the airport to the city, and on a weekend the only thing running were the C cars. And when I was in the city, if I did ride BART, it's all going to be dark. I got this nice picture of a MUNI LRV cab with a flash. This is looking in through the fare box window there. The it has the side stick type of controller instead of pedals. Yeah, I want to make sure that people can read all this stuff. That looks good. It's going to be a big photo, a big file though. All right, finally we're doing our thing on the end, the L Taraval. This is the end. There are two routes that go to the Pacific Ocean: the N and the L. The N is on its own tunnel, the Twin Peaks tunnel. Wait, no, the sunset, sunrise, something like that. And the L goes through the Twin Peaks tunnel to West Portal and then branches off from there. So here we are leaving Twin Peaks Junction. There's the the West Portal Junction. There's the West Portal station up there, up on the far left. Same awful weather. Here we have the 15th Street curve. This has the same vibes as the SEPTA trolley in the West Philadelphia trolleys. Not quite the same. Boston doesn't trust its local drivers to give to yield or anything. This is still when you would find roll signs. So here we have 1432. The question is, where is this? I gotta go adjust my map here real quick. Go back across the bay. So I think this is the 15th Street curve right there. Yep. And this next guy looks like he's also on a curve. Alright, so it looks like we're probably back still on the other 15th Street curve. So it's 1432 A. And here you have the Macoppin station. Probably waited till we had a break in the action where I could get a more stabilized photo here. This is one of the ADA stations. 19th, 22nd. Where is this? Huh, that's weird. Oh, it's the park, and sorry, it's Macoppin Square. Okay. Here we have a meet at that same station. There was quite a bit of service, at least this time. So the question is can I get a number off this guy? He doesn't have the, I bet this is a 1500 series. It looks newer. Wow, I threw away a lot of photos back then. I just was not pleased with the weather. Here we have the 35th Avenue turnback. This is just this is common in sort of streetcar systems. It's a little stub. Yeah, I wasn't taking a lot. I did ride this line later and took better photos. It looks like they've done a whole doohickey on this route, a rebuild on it. 35th Street turnback. 36th, 35th. And it's still there. So what this allows is, this is what is it? Looks like it's like a reverse turn back. So this guy would this guy would come in, reverse onto 35th, and then pull forward and out back the other way. I don't know why he doesn't just reverse once, but just pull in. Oh, probably because I couldn't put the same switches. It'd probably be too tight of a curve that way. And here I am off. So I didn't want to go down to the zoo. I've actually never been down to the SF Zoo terminal on the L. I've always gotten off to go to the Pacific Ocean. So I guess I haven't ridden the entire MUNI system. So the zoo terminal is down here, right by the SF Zoo. I've always gotten off right there, which is at 46th Street. This is MUNI car 1477A at the 46th Street curve. Brian's mentioning that turn back was there for the PCCs because they were single-ended. There's a variety of even if stuff is single-ended, you still need to be able to. In theory, you still need to be able to turn the equipment back, and sometimes it's not easy to do it in the road. So that's why it stayed. It's not useless with a double-ended vehicle because you still have to swap to the additional track. But I guess it would be also useful for PCC charters. As you can see, all of these wire frogs up here, they support both pantograph and trolley pole operation. Those skids around the wire frogs are for the pantographs. So they're dual use. Hopefully SEPTA will do that when they're transitioning whatever they're doing with newer stuff. We're going pretty quick here. I might also have some skip photos, I don't know, involving whatever it is I'm doing at the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, this whole week was gray, overcast, and depressing. Back in 2000, but it's February. Like, what do you expect? That's what people have said again and again. What do you expect? Brian mentioned there's a similar type of turn back on the J Church at 30th Street. So here we have the MUNI L's, 40th Street, 46th Street Y. So I'm pretty sure that the original line would just terminate at the Pacific Ocean, like the N. But this at some point they extended it down to the zoo. Which makes sense. And here we have all these various wire frogs here at 46th Street, which is situated, looks like, in front of some sort of synagogue, to quote Mr. Burns. So the thing that I actually came down here to see was the fact that the old terminal had original rails embedded in these Belgian blocks. And here you can see the difference between the new sort of concrete girder rail. Also, yeah, I'm not sure if the rest of the MUNI was using girder rail, but this definitely was using girder rail. Girder rail is that trolley rail that has that grooved trough built into it. Today, they don't do that. They sort of embed it in rubber. There's a part of the Route 15 in Philly over the Girard Bridge over the Schuylkill where it goes from the regular rail to girder rail, and it's way noisier and way rougher. The interesting thing is I looked on Google and it looked like, oh no, did they get rid of it? But to my, shock, if you want to call it that, they actually didn't get rid of it. This is the same area. They rehabbed it and they kept the Belgian blocks. So it runs a couple of 2 blocks down to the Pacific Ocean, and they kept the old Belgian block line here. So very cool. They might have gotten rid of the girder rail, though. Or maybe not. I have to go and check. They did that sometime since 2019. I remember these photos were taken in early 2007. There we go. Just another quick thing of the girder rail. Gotta figure out how to spell Belgian. Technically, those are not cobblestones. That's a totally different thing. It's similar. I mean, not totally, but it's a different thing. Those are when you see blocks of granite, those are Belgian blocks. Belgian. And here we have the old terminal switch. I think this day was slightly less gross than some of the others, but it was still pretty awful. Here we have the slightly more Belgian block showing. Now, I don't think when they did the new stuff that this part was quite as well preserved. Yeah, they kept the lines, but they definitely did some adjustment on the paving here. And the fouling point going eastbound. And what passes for a wire frog. So this didn't have a wire frog, so this would not be usable by anything with a trolley pole. And you can see why, because the wires cross at different angles. As they call it, a wire non-frog. That's something to look at. Let's check the new picture and see what's there now today. Nope, no wire frog. Although they have made some improvements. And here we have track and end street. There's some evidence of trains overrunning it, but not a ton. I don't know how often trains would LRVs would actually use this. And just picture the entire tail track looking eastbound at this point. Yeah, I'm assuming that when this was run with whatever PCCs or whatnot, or actually I don't know what would have run this, because this is a double-ended turn. This would require a sort of a double-ended thing. So maybe this predates the PCC revolution when they still had double-ended cars. I'm guessing that Zoo, which runs as a loop, probably would have been something for that preferred showed PCC preference. Wait, what? Yeah, it's the right one. Okay. Last set. A little bit longer set than the rest, but I might cut some of these ocean photos. Oh, there's some evidence of a runoff right here. Of an overrun. A lot of overrun. Look at that. You can see the lines. Something overran this probably more than once. Yeah, it even says stop on the pavement. Didn't they know what they're supposed to do? Alright, now we're doing our Pacific Ocean stuff. Let me just see if I have these. I actually like this beach access more than the N. The N has seems to have more people and stuff about it. Because the terminal there has a little bit more going on. This requires a 2-block walk. I don't know what people are always talking about in you know, I mean, maybe SoCal is different, but the sand up at San Francisco is just gross. It's worse than Jersey Shore sand, that's for sure. It's like this is Lake Michigan. This is Lake Michigan sand, except maybe fewer pond stones. But this whole thing just, I had family that lived on the Michigan shore of Lake Michigan. Very, very steep banks, very, very narrow beach area, lots of stones, discolored, the whole thing. So in terms of you know, San Francisco has a lot going for it, but you know, your beach is gross, very gross. Yeah, this was my first time getting to the Pacific, and I was underwhelmed. Yes, I have been to the beach in SoCal. I think in Irvine. And I know in fact that one was ridiculously wide. Like Jersey Shore wide after they've done a replenishment after a hurricane. Oh, there's a seagull there. Ugh. Trying to get through these as best I can here. That's where my shoe is taking a swim. I don't think I even bother to do this one, but oh, there's a sand dollar there. That's cool. This isn't gonna make the cut, but I'm still gonna do it up. Oh, I need new hiking boots. Okay, back. Now we're back to regular programming here. This is the west leg of the 46th Street Y, I guess. I have more pictures of the 46th Street Y. We recently went out, I think on the N in 2019, I went out with some people out there. Here we have the flat junction for the 46th Street Y and the associated wire diamond. Again, that's designed for, has the ramps for both pantographs and trolley poles. And here we are looking toward the zoo, I believe. This has a good outline, again, of how the ramps work. They pull the pantograph down or away from the wire frog, and then they lift it back up onto the wire. And here's my ride back. Oops, I skipped this one, it looks like. Looks like 1477A again. That's probably why I skipped it, because I already had photos of 1477A. But with these getting retired, I might as well get photos of them. Wow, wait, is that like a citrus? No, those are flowers. That's not a citrus tree. I remember in 2008, I met with my mom's flight attendant friend from college, and he was like, "Yeah, you should go buy." You know, he was definitely encouraging me to buy a house in the city. But I had no desire to relocate to the Bay. I was happy with my job and family connections in the East Coast. So here we have an F Market Milan car that's in service with the J Line and other stuff here at Balboa Park. I forget how I got back out there. I think I was doing a connection from BART, using that monthly pass or whatever I had to connect. That orange of those Milan cars really stands out. I think they're still using them over there. And we are almost done. Just a couple more pictures left. Looks like I did catch a J back to go downtown. Maybe I took BART out there and then connected to a J. So it looks like I cut this in the actual set that I did back in 2017. I can find this pretty well enough, so just give me a second here. The J does some funky stuff with rights of way. There it is. Right there. That's effectively at Lyle Street or Bosworth. Not Avenue or Street? Street. And this guy is, whatever this is, it is. I think it's this one. Yeah, this is it. Richland Avenue. Yeah, the J has a lot of interesting ways. It sort of goes up. It has a lot of little interesting mini right of ways. And the last two pictures are of Chicago. Before LEDs, when everything is goddamn sodium vapor. Yeah. Gross. Yeah, Chicago is one of the better looks from above. And that is the loop there. I forget if I had just taken off from or... So I was usually... at this point, it was before I was a big Southwest flyer. And the city pair, I'm pretty sure that I was flying into SFO for all of these using United from BWI. And that usually had a connection somewhere like Denver or possibly... And this is low enough, I'm sure that I connected at ORD. And that should finish things up. Thank you so much. Hope you had all a great Thanksgiving vacation. I know it's a little bit random. I'm likely going to be... Next time you'll see me, it'll probably be Christmas. I will pick another suitable thing to do. 4 or 5 days, probably more like the Port Road or Harrisburg trips I have coming up. Or maybe Caltrain. My second Caltrain trip. How many pictures does that have? Oh, 135. I'm going to save that for, that's a short one. So I'll save that one for another time here. I'm going to be looking at this. No, I've already done that Harrisburg trip. This Port Road trip, that's a 5-dayer right there, plus, or 219 on this Harrisburg trip, and that involves going to Lehman Place, the M&H, Rockville, and some Buffalo line things. So there's a lot of neat stuff on that one, and it's shorter, so that looks like something I'm going to be inclined to do. I'm not going to be here for all of those days, but I should be here for enough days in that. So that's going to be December. I'll probably be around on the nights of the 23rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. And then the night of the 28th and 9th. So there should be enough days in there. Do you have any questions here? Oh, gosh, a lot of questiony things. Yeah, in terms of that old terminal, it's one of those things where I could feel like if they needed to short turn something, they might do that. So I don't know what normal MUNI stuff is. I know on SEPTA they'll have weirdo short turns all the time. Like a train gets really, really delayed, and they'll just be like, "No, we got to short turn this," and they'll discharge everybody, tell everybody to get on the next train. It's actually good headway management to kick everybody off in short turn, and things like that turnaround there is where you would do a short turn. You can discharge people at 46 and pull forward down to the tail track and come back up. Or if there's like a construction thing going on at the San Francisco Zoo, you could turn the trains there. SEPTA does a bunch of those things with where they can short turn it. Well, it is, again, I'm just going to call out, the SF MUNI did a great job. I mean, say what you will about San Francisco and its many problems, but the fact that they preserved those Belgian blocks in place is definitely a win for the preservationist ethos in the city. So good for them. So if you go back, if you look on my I'll put it in the chat right now. I have the Power Dispatch office photos already up, or I think I do. I'm going to give you, so these are the ones without it being fully functional like it is today. And then, I mean, just my normal photo output will have those Power Office coming in the coming year. So I'm going to throw this in the chat for you, okay? There you go. Okay, I think that's everything right now. Again, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I think I got everything. And if anyone missed anything, I'll have these up by the end of the weekend in the live section. If they're not, I think they're unlisted right now. But if you need to access ones you don't have, they should be fully public by the end of the week. All right, have a great night. I'll see you around.